Hello. Hope you're doing well. No one's watching right now, but I'm going to crack on because some people may well watch later. So this is City Daily 16, I believe. And we're doing these videos every day to encourage you, to encourage the church, to keep things ticking over, to connect with people. And so what I wanted to share was a little bit from the book of John. But I don't know about you, but I am using the opportunity to get some stuff done around the house. So I've got the drills out, I'm putting some shelves out. I did some tree surgery in the garden, took down some big branches with a neighbour's chainsaw, which was a lot of fun. And often we have to wait, don't we, until the right time to be able to do that. So we have to wait for the Saturday to come to be able to do that, or a bit of annual leave so that we can get some jobs done. And I don't know about you, but I feel this sense of waiting and anticipation for the time where we get to see people in person and get to hang out. And there's this kind of growing kind of longing, I suppose, in me of I can't wait to be able to hang out with people and see you guys. And obviously it feels quite strange at the moment, doesn't it? Because it's actually the Easter holidays. I don't know if you managed to keep track of that. But it's actually the Easter holidays officially now. All the weeks and the days are kind of all mushed into one thing. But next week is Easter week or Holy Week. And so it's Palm Sunday tomorrow. I mean, that crept up on us. And then Easter Sunday next week. And I wanted to share a little bit about some of our plans for church over the next few weeks, because we're going to be starting a new teaching series a week tomorrow. So Ash is going to be speaking tomorrow morning on a psalm, but then next week we're going to be looking at a new teaching series, and we're going to look at 8 things that Jesus said about himself. Sometimes we call them the I am statements. So you may be familiar where he says, I am the bread of life, or I am the resurrection, I am the true vine, I am the good shepherd. And he shares 8 of those things. And so we're going to look at those over the next 8 weeks. And really that comes out of a heart of recognizing that, do you know what, sometimes it's the simple truths that is what we need right now. And I think particularly in our situation, sometimes we just need to be reminded of who Jesus is. But also there's lots of people dialing in to watch the live stream on a Sunday morning. So exciting. I've got quite a few stories already of people that don't know Jesus who are tuning in and listening to what we have to say. And so we want to take the opportunity to present Jesus to people and to be really clear about who he is and give people an opportunity to respond. And so I want to just encourage you. I just shared the link out in some family WhatsApp groups, and basically people started tuning in. And so I want to encourage you, on your Facebook, on your social media, get in touch with people, share how they can watch our Sunday live stream. It's a great opportunity to do that. And so we're going to be in the book of John for those weeks. And I just thought I'd share a little bit from John chapter 16, particularly around this idea of anticipation and waiting. Jesus says this in John chapter 16, starting with verse 16 as well. Jesus went on to say, in a little while you will see me no more, and then after a little while you will see me. At this, some of his disciples said to one another, what does he mean by saying, in a little while you will see me no more, and then after a little while you will see me? And because I am going to the Father. They kept asking, what does he mean by a little while? We don't understand what he is saying. Jesus saw that they wanted to ask him about this. So he said to them, are you asking one another what I meant when I said, in a little while you will see me no more, and then after a little while you will see me? Very truly, I tell you, you will weep and mourn while the world rejoices. You will grieve, but your grief will turn to joy. A woman giving birth to a child has pain because her time has come, but when her baby is born, she forgets the anguish because of her joy that a child is born into the world. So with you, now is your time of grief, but I will see you again, and you will rejoice, and no one will take away your joy. I love that passage, and I feel like it speaks into our situation a lot. And Jesus talks about in a little while, and the disciples said, what does he mean by that? And essentially what Jesus is talking about is that he's going to leave us, and he's predicted that in the chapters before, and the disciples haven't quite understood what's happening. But he says, one day you will see me again. I am going to come again. And I was just thinking about, that waiting that I talked about earlier on, and the idea that, there is this anticipation that, in all our text messaging and WhatsApp groups, there's the kind of thing of, I can't wait to see you. When are we going to hang out again? When are we going to see each other again? And I was just thinking about that. And it's right. It's a right kind of emotion to feel. And so I wrote this on Twitter earlier on this week. I said, imagine the day we meet together as church again in person. Joy, hugs, tears, celebration. But it won't ever compare with the day we will be with God in eternity and see Jesus face to face. It's not wrong to pray for the first, but let's always have our eyes on the second. And Jesus is pointing this out to the disciples and saying, you may well be experiencing grief right now, challenged. The idea of me leaving, that might be confusing, but one day I will come back. And he promises that to us. And so I honestly can't wait for us as church to be back in the same room together in our different locations, but being able to meet physically in church buildings and in schools and then in connect groups and all that. And I'm so excited to have people around the house and having dinner with people. But what is far more significant, I think, is the day that we will meet Jesus face to face. I can't wait for that day. And if there's any sense of kind of delayed gratification that we're experiencing at the moment, it should be around one day we will see the Lord Jesus face to face. We will be in perfect relationship with the Father. I can't wait for that day. And so I want to just encourage you, in light of the new series that we're going to be looking at in John, why don't you spend Holy Week, as sometimes it's called, or Easter week, starting tomorrow through to Easter Sunday. You might want to get into a bit of John this week just to get a sense of the narrative. It's quite different to the other Gospels, and so it's worth just getting your head around it and maybe refresh your memory of some of the things that Jesus says about himself. So why don't you do that over the course of this week? But that's everything from me. I need to get back to the DIY. Sarah's working today, so it's a good opportunity to get some things done in the house. Sarah and Maddie is napping right now, so I'm going to try and keep the drills to a minimum. But bless you guys. I hope you're doing well, and hopefully we'll see you virtually either tomorrow morning on the live stream or at the prayer meeting at 8 p.m. tomorrow evening. God bless.